You might not actually like being a college or professional baseball player, believe it or not. Now, it's very possible that you would enjoy the lifestyle and love every minute of it. But it's also possible that you tried it out for a little while and were not a fan and wanted to go back to what you're normally doing. So let me explain to you a little bit of what it's like to be a professional baseball player, what it entails. And I'll let you make the judgment call for yourself as to if it'd be something that you enjoy. For me personally, I love it. I enjoy it a lot. I would much rather be doing this than any other job. But I've also played with plenty of players who have tried multiple things, some quote unquote normal jobs, and also professional baseball, and they're like, I'm out of here, I never want to do this again. So here's why, okay? The first thing, when it comes to your physical body, it takes a lot of meticulous dieting and exercise. Like for me personally, I don't have any processed sugar, or if I do, it's very minimal. I never get soda or anything like that at a drinking, at a fountain. I always get water. When it comes to the foods that I order, I very rarely get fried foods. I almost exclusively get, if it's between grilled chicken or fried chicken, it's always grilled. When it comes to diet, like I'm very meticulous, and some players are even more meticulous than I am. But generally speaking, you have to maintain this sort of diet because you cannot put on unnecessary weight in baseball. It's just going to drag you down. So when you look at collegiate athletes, when you look at professional athletes, obviously there's some exceptions, but for the most part, they're all in fantastic shape, and that's partially because of their religious dieting, which costs a lot of money that oftentimes you're not paid, and also it takes a lot of discipline to eat those foods instead of maybe the foods that you want to eat. So that's one thing, is food. Beyond that, exercise. This goes without saying, but you're on the field for 4 to 5 hours a day, which is a lot of fun. I personally enjoy that, but that alone is not enough to keep you in the game. After you have already finished your practice and after you, showered and everything, then you have to go and lift, go out to exercise. And not to mention if you have a lot of different injuries, maybe big or small, you have to do athletic training and nurse those things back to health. So most of your day is very physically intensive or physically intentional. And so there's not much downtime to waste on your phone or anything like that, which for me is a blessing. I feel like I'm much more productive actually when I'm playing baseball regularly, because all of my extra free time is just put into investing into my body. But for a lot of people, that means no Netflix or very minimal Netflix, maybe just when you're going to bed. It makes things, there's less free time to do what you want to do. And not everybody likes that. A lot of people love their free time. Diet and exercise are a given, but then when it comes to the mental game, this is where it really starts to get at people. So when you're playing all day baseball and that's all you do, you wake up, you go to the field, you play baseball, you come back, you go to bed. Sounds amazing, and it is, except for when you're really struggling on the field, because what ends up happening is you start to get nervous about your job. Am I going to lose my job if I don't play as well? And you could be working as hard as you possibly can, and it does not mean that you're going to succeed at all on the field. And so it's a very powerless feeling knowing that it doesn't really matter how much work you put in, it might not actually help you play better, and you might inevitably be on your way out. So that's a feeling that most baseball players have, especially early on in professional baseball. Obviously, once you're an established big leaguer, you've been there for a while, then you don't have to worry about that as much. You can have a bad month and you're still going to be in the big leagues. But for the vast majority of players, there's always this slight worry, if I don't perform, I'm probably out of here. So that's another thing that you have to manage as a player, and that's something that really takes a toll on people, because when you get back home, it's very hard to disassociate with everything that you've already done at the field for that day. And if you had a bad day at the field, you get back home, and it's very easy to take that with you into the rest of your day, or what's left of the rest of your day. So that was number 3, the kind of mental negativity grind that it is. But beyond that, number 4, you don't really get days off. In a college season, you're practicing Monday through Thursday, you're playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe you have a light day on Monday, but you're back at it again the following week. You hardly have a day off in college, let alone the school schedule that's piled on top of all of that. College baseball baseball is a grind. You get to professional baseball, it's the same type of thing. Higher stakes, a little bit more pressure on you because now you're talking about your career. But then beyond that, you don't really get a day off either. Usually the days off for professional baseball players are travel days where maybe they have part of the day off. And the fifth and final reason why it's pretty difficult to be a baseball player is the pay. I mean, again, unless you are at the very tippy top and you're in the major leagues, you're not getting paid very much at all. It would make you more money working at a grocery store more often than not. Even if you're playing in AAA, you're still not making any more than $38,000 in a year. Again, it is a total blessing to play professional baseball, and if you heard all 5 of those things and you're like, I don't care, I still absolutely want to do it, that sounds amazing, then you're probably the type of person that loves the game enough to go through all of those steps and enjoy it every step of the way. I am somewhat that way. The one thing that I am not willing to sacrifice is family, my time with my wife. Like, I'm not willing to sacrifice that for long periods of time, and that's why I hung up the cleats for a little while after the Nationals released me. Now with the Bananas, I'm able to bring my wife with me out here to Savannah, but that's another variable to factor in is time with family. A lot of big leaguers want to call it quits by the time they're in their late 20s because they're already married, they have a kid, and they rarely get to spend time with them, which is so important. I hope this paints a little bit of a picture of what it's like to play professional or to play college baseball. Sounds like something that you want to do. By all means, go for it, go make it happen. And as always, I'm Coach RAC with Headbanger Sports. Let's grow.